This episode of The Unstarving Musician is sponsored by Liner Notes. Want to learn from the hundreds of musicians and industry pros I've spoken with for The Unstarving Musician? Sign up for Liner Notes, my curated email newsletter where I share the best insights and knowledge gems from these conversations, some of which have been featured here on the podcast. From marketing to songwriting to touring and sync licensing, you'll get actionable tips delivered straight to your inbox every 2 weeks. Liner Notes Insider, the deep dive edition, will feature exclusive deep dives, detailed case studies, and premium content that goes beyond the podcast interviews. Sign up at unstarvingmusician.com/liner notes. It's free to get started, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Unstarving Musician podcast. I am Rabonzo. This is my podcast. And yes, I say good morning, but good whatever time of day it is for you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so happy to have you here with me. Happy to be in your earbuds. How are you? Where are you? What are you wearing? I need to know all of these things. Hey, before I get into today's guest, a couple of little announcement things. Abe Partridge, who's been on the podcast a couple of times. I love that guy. He's a great folk singer. He's also got a punk band side hustle. He's on tour. You can check out his tour dates at abepartridge.com. I hope he will if he's going to be in your town. I definitely recommend seeing him. I'd like to see him. I've not seen him live. I need to do that. And in other news, Sly Stone of Sly and the Family Stone died at 82 yesterday. I did not know, but he was born in Denton, Texas, not far from where I was born, in Fort Worth. And he was raised in the Bay Area of Vallejo in Northern California, not far from where I lived with my wife, Sammy, for 17 years. And Sammy's still alive, by the way, in case you have never heard me talk about her, in case I made it sound like she wasn't. She's still here with me. But yeah, Sly Stone, he is, I guess, kind of responsible for perfecting funk and fusing it with all kinds of other styles, R&B among them. And he was a big star at Woodstock, as I recall. Anyway, it's kind of a surprise. I know it's kind of old, but still, it seemed like it was a little early. I don't know what was going on with him, but may he rest in peace and may his family heal from his departure. And then, in kind of sad news for me, Mark Maron, the comedian and pioneering podcast host of WTF, announced that his show is winding down. He and his producer have decided to wind it down this fall. They launched back in September of 2009 when there were fewer than 70,000 podcasts in existence by my estimates. Now, those weren't all active, but to put that in perspective, today there are guesstimated to be about 4.5 million in existence. Now, active is a much smaller number. It's around 15%, but if my numbers are right. But anyway, this speaks to the fact that Maron, among a handful of others, was one of the pioneers of the medium. And he was doing great things at his show. I was, like a lot of people, kind of surprised and sad when I heard the news. But I'm happy for him and his producer, Brendan. And I hope all of his diehard fans, many of whom he's really helped, that they can move on with Mark. And so congratulations, Mark Maron. Thanks for making this a great place to yammer on about things like independent musicians. My guest today is Christian DeWild. Christian and I are old friends from the San Francisco South San Francisco Bay Area, San Jose, Redwood City to be specific. We played in a band called Dry White Toast, and I unearthed a couple of MP3s as I was editing this conversation for your listening pleasure. I may have to post those, so there might be a link in the show notes for that. But Christian is a multifaceted artist based in Folsom, California, who really seamlessly blends music, literature, and visual art into a compelling creative practice. I learned a lot about him in our short conversation, but I knew he was funny, and I knew he had a great voice from working with him in the band. But Christian works and has worked for an electrical contractor for a number of years. He does that by day, but his true passion lies in his diverse artistic pursuits. He is the author of 2 self-published books, Dead Flowers, Let's Get Married on Halloween, and Some Days Are Ashes, Poems, Limericks, and Illustrations. As a musician, He has just released his first single of 2025 called By Your Side, recorded and self-produced on his analog Tascam system, which we talk about. He's also an active an active painter and performer who is deeply embedded in Folsom's blues scene. What makes him particularly fascinating as a music artist and just a creative person is his philosophical approach to creativity. He's someone who gets completely obsessive about whatever project he's working on, while also contemplating the finite nature of life and the urgency that brings to artistic expression. That was a deep bit of conversation, and you might hear it in my voice, but it was kind of moving and had me reflecting on my own pursuits. So thanks for that, Christian. It was a gift. All right, here is me talking with Christian DeWild. Are you still in Sacramento?
Folsom, yeah.
Folsom, okay.
Mm-hmm. Still
is
here.
Is that a little bit closer or right out in the same area? I don't remember.
The same area?
I mean closer to like San Jose. Or
No, it's closer to San Francisco. We're about 2 hours away from San Francisco. Northeast, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 minutes from Sacramento.
We're actually going to San Jose Friday for a memorial for a friend who killed himself last year.
Oh, geez. What happened?
Don't really know. I know someone who we had a mutual friend who is a therapist, and he'd asked her for a referral, which she gave him, and things were supposedly going well. But my friend, or another mutual friend, had seen him and said that he'd been a little bummed out about some girl that he was dating, like maybe they weren't, and then I think somebody else said the same thing, but also afterwards his aunt was telling us that she was trying to plan a birthday thing for him, which was around the corner, and he was kind of putting it off. So,
okay.
Yeah,
so he wasn't up for it. Oh, that's terrible.
No, but he was living with these two women, just friends, roommates in Los Gatos, and strangled himself when one of them was out of the country, and I'm sure it was all terrible.
Yeah, it's not more common than I remember. I don't know if that's because I'm an adult. No, I see it a lot more with kids, and middle schoolers, high school. Now it's a sign of the times.
That may be true, yeah, because they're under a lot of weird pressure.
Yeah, kids have it really, really hard right now. Social media and just everything. There's just so much shit that I didn't even, we didn't have when you have going on. And, we just had life was more basic. Just like what our parents used to say, it was a simpler time.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
But, and I dealt with, having three, especially the girls.
How old are your kids now?
Oh, God, my daughters are 18. They're graduating high school this year.
They're not twins, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, twin girls, and then our boy is 22.
Wow. I didn't know you had twin girls. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's different, man.
Yeah, I bet. But hey, you're a better person for it, I'm sure.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the day.
Tell me about your new single, By Your Side. It just came out this year, right?
I think it came out maybe a couple weeks ago.
Nice, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's just what I'm doing is I'm recording singles. I'm just doing singles, no albums. When I have a single done, I release it. So this was just one of those. A song that actually came pretty quick, which is really rare for me nowadays. The chord progression came really quick. The vocal melody came really quick, and the lyrics just within a matter of a couple, maybe days, which is very uncommon for me nowadays.
What, when you, assuming it takes you more than, what is not quick for you? I think it probably varies for everyone. What is
not quick for me?
Yeah.
2, 3 years,
Okay, yeah.
maybe longer than that. I've got lyrics that are probably 5, 6 years old. I got some melodies that are probably the same. Yeah, they just kind of don't go anywhere, and then kind of shelve them for a bit.
I assumed you write with some regularity, which I want to talk about. And do you play the guitar regularly, or whenever you do you catch an idea on your phone or something and just kind of file it in case it turns into something?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of they all 95% of them start with the guitar. Starts with the chord progression or the lick, the riff, and then oh, I kind of like that. And then you get a vocal melody goes on top of that, and then once I get, well, that's kind of cool. So now what would I do for a chorus? Well, okay, these chords work, and then all that works pretty quick. I get hung up on are the lyrics. I'm very particular about them.
That doesn't surprise me somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you record it? Did you do it yourself, or do you get some help, or?
No, I do everything myself now. The early stuff was in a studio, and I spend so much time and money chasing sounds that it's not practical. It's just not worth it. It's just too much money, too much time away. So I got the equipment myself, and I just, instead of driving me crazy and a band crazy and the engineer crazy, I just drive myself crazy.
Do you, what DAW do you use?
Just no software, so it's a standalone board Tascam with 24 tracks, and goes on an SD card. And then from there, I go to something called I'm drawing a blank right now. I use a software just for converting it over to a WAV file.
You're so throwback.
Yes, yes.
That's awesome.
Well,
So,
yeah, with
so
me and
you,
technology.
yeah, so you don't have to play. Maybe you do sometimes. You don't have to play everything live. You can do like some guitar and then put your vocals on top and whatever else.
Recording wise, or live, or playing live.
Recording.
Yes, no, everything's done isolated, track by track.
That's awesome, man. You need to make some videos. Nobody's doing that anymore. I mean, not at home. Not at
Oh,
home. Yeah.
there's no editing. Yeah, there's no editing. There's no visual mixing board. I'm not. Yeah, I can't tweak any of the waves or whatever they do.
So you're
Yeah,
doing everything until
this
you get it right.
exactly. And I'll do it. I'll do it 100 times if I have to, and I have. I've done a guitar. I don't know how many times I've gotten a guitar part completely right to where it was perfect, and the last note is ringing out, and the dishwasher in the kitchen is finishing its cycle, and the water is squirting out into the sink.
That's that's amazing. So you're kind of, in a way, you're doing it live, or you're doing like one take. Well, not one take, but single take. It's funny because when I've only done a couple of singles, but the first one especially, like I for the drums anyway,
Mhm.
I just did it. I wanted a single track until I got it right. It just didn't make any sense, right, to me to like be trying to piece something together. Now, in the second one, I did have to piece together a middle section because it just sounded so wonky, and
Mhm.
I was rushed for time, and it still wasn't perfect. But I just told the engineer he probably would have heard it anyway, and he probably adjusted some of that, but he was real happy with it. And then I probably, with a digital workstation, definitely have the luxury of singing bits at a time. But I think a lot of people are always like editing stuff, which you can do.
I mean,
It's really easy,
you,
but
yeah, you have the technology to do it right.
it's funner to me to just try and do it. So you feel like you played live something, to some degree.
Yeah, I feel like I'm cheating otherwise, and I feel like I've kind of, it's like a disappointment. It's like, come on, man, you've been doing this your whole life. Put a little work into it. Do it the right way. It's a craft. Take some pride in it.
Can you record drums with that setup? You get 24 tracks. I guess you
Actually, I
could.
have. I
Yeah.
have. We did an album with the band, and I did a lot of studying on it was like two mic placement, the Led Zeppelin, John Bonham two mic placement deal, and so what? Two mics. I think I had four tracks. So what was I doing? Oh, I think what I did, I just kind of panned them off a little bit so they wouldn't cancel each other out,
Mm-hmm.
and it came out good. The room it recorded in was a really nice sound.
That's cool.
So it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the whole engineering part of like miking drums, and I have played a little bit with single mic and dual mic, and I've even done
Mm-hmm.
stuff where I have like a single condenser mic and the drum kit mic'd up and an iPhone doing video, and I'll mix the audio from all of them. it's it's kind of cool.
Oh, audio from the iPhone.
Yeah, yeah, mix it
Oh,
in as well. Somebody actually asked me about it once. It's like, how do you get that? I forgot what it was, how he asked, but he was asking about the snare, and I'm like, I think you're hearing like the secondary audio from the iPhone was maybe given kind of a sort of like very mild slapback effect or something.
oh, where'd you put the phone?
And the phone was just far enough away to do video of the, because I was doing like, I'll have to send these to you sometime. I was doing like some, you maybe have seen them before, doing like loops that I downloaded, and I was playing on top of them and just making, short, very short drum videos with them. And so
No,
the phone's capturing the video.
oh, that's pretty cool. Actually, maybe I did see something like that.
You probably did. I can't imagine I wouldn't have shared it with you. But I'll reshare it just to refresh your memory.
Yeah, yeah, do it.
Wow. So that's cool. So you've been using this same setup for quite a while then.
Yes.
Do they still support? Does that thing still have support, or are you just like hoping it stays
Yeah,
together?
yeah. It's well, even if it did have support, I wouldn't know how to get it. I wouldn't know how to go about it. Actually, you know what I did? Yeah, I did have to call them because I did a total rookie move to where I had a bunch of all my track files, and there was just a whole log. When you put it in the computer, a whole log of just these tracks. I thought, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to label them all, so I know. Well, in doing that, I rewrote the whole code so it doesn't have access to them. So
Oh no.
I lost tracks to two songs,
No, that
complete
must.
tracks. Yeah, one of them was a very intricate song to play, but at least I was able to. It was mastered and released, but I just can't do anything with it anymore.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, gosh, I was gonna say like I'm imagining you're well into some recording project and lost them, and like thinking of the heart sinking feeling that you probably got
Mm.
anyway, but at least
Oh,
you got it
that's
done.
I yeah, I've had that, and I've had both. Yeah, I've had it where actually yes, actually that did happen, and I did. I had a bunch of rhythm guitar tracks for the next tracks I was going to work on, and yeah, I lost those as well. So yeah, I did lose both, and
Well,
actually, one of them was by your side. I had to go back and do that.
oh no. Well, it's a nice song. I finally made time to listen to it today. I'm sorry I hadn't listened to it earlier,
Oh,
but
that's
I
fine.
saw that, and is it like the first one you've done in like in a year or two or more?
Yeah, I'm a little slower.
Nothing
I
wrong with
think
that.
what was it? What was the one before that was Soul Shine? That might have been 2 years ago. And then before that was when Summer Goes, which was 2020, I believe.
I think there's another one. I'm forgetting the name. This is just on iTunes, and it may be the dates may not be correct. I first looked at them on YouTube
Oh,
Music, but I could not see
thank you,
uh,
friend.
the published dates. But
Yeah,
I went to Apple Music and I saw the. I'm gonna look right now just for funsies.
there was another one. Thank you, friend. Yeah, that was another one of those batches, but I forget that one just because I'm not happy with the master. I completely screwed that one up.
Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you, friend. You had Soul Shine. Thank you, friend, in the same year, according to the date here, and then By Your
Okay,
Side.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and you had When Summer's Gone was actually before. Yeah, before those. That's cool. And I saw that you had. I listened to it a wee bit of, and may have listened to it before, but maybe it's been a really long time. But an album from 2009, but I was looking at the theme and I was thinking about your books for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a couple of books that I could find. Dead Flowers, Let's Get Married on Halloween, which came out in 21, according
Yeah.
to to Amazon, and then I also found Some Days Are Ashes, the poems, limericks, and illustrations from 2019. But yeah, it kind of had that. I guess that. Well, maybe it resonated the theme that both of those books have. I'd have to go back and look at them again. But
What do you think of? What are you talking about? The album?
Nightmares.
Yeah, Nightmares and Fear. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's got the. I mean, it's. I drew the cover of that, just like I drew all the illustrations in the two books. So yeah, they're gonna have a theme, and I think lyrically and it's coming from the same writer. So yeah, it's gonna have the same theme. I've always loved the darker type of themes.
There is an artist who's been on my podcast a couple times, and I'm in a kind of a musician marketing group with her. She is so into the whole dark theme. It's amazing how she just leans into it, as the expression goes. I'll have to send you her stuff though. She like Halloween's
Mm-hmm.
that is her thing.
Songwriter.
Yeah, she's a songwriter, singer, piano player, and
Oh
she's
wow.
started doing a little more collaboration. The first one that she did was an interesting journey for her because she did it with kind of an established recording artist, and established in the sense that he'd put out some work and had a bit of had a following. Neither one of them,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that either of them are like hugely famous or anything, but uh, so it was just interesting to see how people reacted when she did a track with him. It wasn't well received by everyone because it was such a change for his
I was just gonna
audience.
ask.
Yeah, but it was great. It was great stuff, and they work well together. I don't think they've ever actually had an opportunity to play live together, but I think she's doing more collaboration. But she's very much she loves writing. She's
Mm-hmm.
got this whole newsletter thing, and she writes kind of poetry and stuff. And it seems kind of similar, but you might appreciate it. I'll have to. In
Yeah,
fact, I'll have to show her some of the stuff that you've done too. She'll like it.
yeah. I'd love to. Yeah, send me her link.
I will.
And
Are
when
you?
the other guy, what does the guy do? Guitar singer, songwriter?
He's a very prolific producer, and yeah, he plays guitar. I don't think he sings. I can't remember though. I don't think he sings. And his his natural musical tendency is pretty heavy, kind of kind of metal, but more like a maybe industrial metal thing. Maybe
And
more
they,
along the lines of metal meets, Nine Inch Nails or something. But
and that was a drastic change for his fan base.
oh yeah, because she does this sort of trying to think, like she's oh man, I'm forgetting this artist's name who's very famous. She had a big song in the Netflix series with the kids that had all the
Uh
supernatural stuff in it. Stranger
oh,
Things.
yeah.
She's kind of like in that wheelhouse of music. Um, she's great. I mean, she's got
Yeah.
a beautiful voice. So yeah, it was a big change. But the marriage of the two influences was very noticeable. It was really cool.
Hmm.
It was really
Yeah, I'd
cool.
love to check that out.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast too. I'll have to um, send you his links to their music and the podcast episodes if you're interested. You can hear those too.
Yeah.
So, are you still writing like for books or? Yeah,
No, I think I burnt that out. The writing's fun. It's just all the editing, the formatting, just that stuff is just not my forte. And
I thought for sure you were going to say the marketing part.
yeah, marketing is always an issue with everything, with any of it. Yeah. But yeah, the marketing. I mean, that is what it is. But when you got these 300 pages of poems and illustrations that you worked endless hours, and you got the one last step to edit, format it, and turn it into book. It's just, and that's the big holdup. It's something, yeah. It's just, it's like I said, it's not my strong point.
Well, yeah, I know not everybody likes paying for that, and I'm one of those people, but there are people that do that part.
Yes, yes, yeah. And the price, I think, was a little hefty.
Yeah, it may be more competitive now, but anyway, I understand completely. I mean, I wrote one book, and in my opinion, it's not great. When I look back on it, I was real proud of it, of course, when it came out. Um, but the prospect of like creating a second edition, like an expanded, improved edition, is just overwhelming. Although, oddly
Yeah.
enough, I was thinking about it again today, because using an AI assistant, you can have them go through. Like I was thinking, I could have my
Oh,
use
yeah.
an AI assistant go through the book, look for things that I think might be problematic, a little bit of redundancy, and then also go through a bunch of other content I've created and propose like an expanded edition and just basically give me an outline. Now that I'm verbalizing it and telling you about it, it's would be way easier now, and then I could write, from there much easier.
Yeah, I mean that makes total sense. I completely didn't even think about the AI aspect of it.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, starting fresh, you could certainly. I mean, I don't know how good they are at that. Like, format this for Kindle. They might be great at it. It'd be worth trying.
yeah, I mean you're onto something. It's just I don't even know how I'd go about doing that, figuring that out. But I mean, I've had AI do bios for me because I always hated writing bios.
Oh my God, I hate writing them. I've written them
Yeah.
for other people actually, and myself, of course. But it's hardest for yourself.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And AI just, I don't know, Google, what are the AI,
Chat
Chat
GPT is
GPT?
the
Yeah.
famous one.
Yeah. My son whipped one out, like, that's good. Hey, can you dumb it down a little bit? Because it's a little too,
Verbose.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then so he goes, yeah. So he just types in, dumb it down a little bit. And all of a sudden it's like, wow, that's just great. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's nice for that kind of stuff for sure. For sure. Yeah, I don't particularly care for the way they write, but like when I get stuck on something or pressed for time, like help me develop this topic, and then it'll be good, but like I just don't find the whole writing style approach great. So I rewrite it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And I think that book, that expanded edition is going to nag you until you do it. Because I always thought that my books, there's going to be a 3-part series, right? I just the idea of just 2 books a pair doesn't work. Just doesn't sit with me correctly. Sit with me, right?
oh yeah, yeah.
So I always thought it'd be a little trilogy, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Just go through it again.
Just
Plus,
just
I
hire
think,
your son to like do the whole AI assistant part for you. You'll be golden.
yeah, pinning down a 22-year old is, yeah, with a task like that, yeah, is close to impossible. But I don't think I even have. I mean, I've got bits and pieces of ideas. I just don't. I don't think I think that well might be tapped out.
Maybe, maybe. Well, that's interesting. I had an author on here, not on the podcast, not long ago. I don't. She's just an author, and that wasn't something I'd ever done before. But there were a couple things. She's like, she's had an international bestseller, translated in multiple
Oh
languages.
wow.
She's Mexican. I've read her book. It really touched me because it's a historical fiction that happens during the time that my father was actually born in the town he was born in.
Oh wow. What a coincidence.
Yeah, and
In Texas.
no, he was born in the state of Nuevo Leon in Mexico,
Oh, okay.
not far from Monterrey, Mexico, and long ago. So it was a real treat to learn anything about what life was like because it was during. I mean, he was born at the very tail end of this, but it was like what life was like during the Spanish flu, and also there was a revolution and a lot of war going on in general. And
Hmm.
there were also these agrarian reforms and going on in Mexico at the time, which affected landowners. But anyway, I had her on because she's a prolific writer. She does workshops for writers, and she spoke English. um, and I thought, this would be a chance to interview somebody just about creativity and business, just from another like creative person's mindset. But um, she had a gift for equating much of what she talked about to what she imagined songwriters and musicians went through. So it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a creative process,
Yep.
and I don't think it's just limited to one genre, right?
No, not at all. And there was actually a guy that I think you'd like. His name's Tony Hara. He's been on a couple of times, and he had written a book when I talked to him the first time, but I think he's got a newer one out, and he's really working hard, I think, to figure out, the whole marketing. And he was sort of realizing at this point in his life that he spends so much energy, like making albums, and the time and energy that he did that compared to the time and energy that he spent doing a self-published book for the return, like the money he made. He was like, it just seems to make a lot of sense to write. He loves doing it. So,
Yeah, I mean, the same with me. Yeah, I love creating, whether it's writing a song, a book, or poems, the paintings. I have to create.
so,
Um,
yeah, I wanted to ask you about painting because I was re-looking at something that you did recently. How long have you been painting?
oh, like a year and a half.
No
I mean,
kidding.
yeah. Because but art was always there. I was always doodling, drawing as a kid, always. And then it just took a, it took a. I stopped doing it probably, in high school, and then years after that, just wasn't really a place for it. But drawing was something I loved to do. And then, yeah, the painting is so. The, I've got this weird um, relationship with art to where it like I'm writing a song and recording a song. Well, that song just takes up like everything. I wake up. The first thing I'm thinking about when I wake up is, okay, what do I need to work on that song? Okay, I'm going to work on this part. And then same thing. Last thing I think about is, okay, tomorrow I'm going to change this part of the song or write this. So I'm constantly writing, constantly running the scenarios through my head. And then I just work it to death till I completely burn out. And then it's like, okay, I can't touch a guitar. I don't, I can't, I don't want to think about singing. I don't want to think about writing a song, but I still got this creative urge. So, okay, well, then I go to the campus and then I do the same thing. And I'm working with like a gallery and like, okay, well, I like the painting, but I want to see more of this and I want to see more of this. And oh, by the way, can you have it done by tomorrow? Okay, so, I work all night into that and burn myself out on that. It's like, okay, well, I'll go back to the music. It's just like this unhealthy, obsessive relationship I have with it, and that's how the poems came to be. Is I was writing, God, I was writing for ever since I was in high school, writing lyrics, even before I knew how to play guitar, and then I got to a point where all my lyrics started kind of just sounding like the last song. Well, this song sounds like the last one I wrote. Okay, let me try it again. Well, this sounds like that other last song I wrote. So I thought, okay, well, I got to step away, take a break from writing. Man, what do I do? And I thought, well, I want to keep on working I need to keep writing so I don't lose the technique, right? Because I think to me, it's like a muscle. You want to keep it working so you don't lose it. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to I'll write some silly poems just to keep the creative juices flowing and kind of keep the practice up. And that's where it was like, yeah, you get one poem, got another one. It's like, oh, these are kind of good, and this is fun to do, and it's refreshing. So that's how that whole thing started.
When we met, you were writing lyrics, and we played in a. I'm struggling to remember when we played together. Was it be up until 2005 or 2003 to 2005 ish maybe?
No, you think? No, it had to be like 2002.
Could have
2002?
could have been could have been.
Because I
Yeah.
think yeah, because I think shortly after that we moved here.
Oh, okay, then yeah, that would narrow it down for sure. So yeah, you were. How do you feel that your writing was during that time?
I have not looked
What, you
back.
don't remember every song? No.
Yeah, yeah, that's I kind of once that was done and that door closed, I just focused on solo.
Yeah.
I mean, there were a couple songs when I got started solo here that I did bring along and play live. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I should probably check them back out. But back then, I mean, I was writing every single night. Not all of it was good, but I mean, constantly writing every night.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, especially when you're young, that young, right? And just, I mean, you're that young, you got the energy, you want to make it work. Um, yeah, it'd be interesting to check some of that stuff back out.
Do you write these days on paper or do you do it on the computer or?
Nope, still on paper. Everything's on paper. And then I'll transfer it over to computer when it's all done. I like paper. I like the feel of paper.
I do too, and I want to like it more, but I cannot stand handwriting. I can't, I mean, I just cannot stand the act of handwriting. I never have liked it.
So so my lyrics are all handwriting, and
That's nice.
when I do poems, it's still in cursive.
That's great.
Yeah, so I still kind of keep the cursive up. It's not as good as not as tight as it used to be. I don't do it as often, but it's something I want to try to retain.
Why not? Your kids probably don't know it, do they? Or do they?
Actually, that's part of the reason why I do it, so nobody can read it.
Really? They can't read it?
I don't know. I've never asked. I've never. I don't know. That's a good question. I do remember. I think Dylan and maybe the girls too. Yeah, they were learning like what preliminary kind of cursive in elementary school. Just kind of how you'd write the letter, and you'd write the letter in cursive, and it would just kind of would just kind of flows into the other letter.
Why
But
did
I
we
don't.
do that? Was it faster or was it just like a weird throwback thing that we did? I don't even know why we were doing it.
That's probably because generations before. I don't know. I
I think
really
it was
don't know.
faster. I think it was
Oh
faster.
yes, that's right. It was faster, huh?
I mean,
That's
I
why.
think you're not picking up the pen every letter.
No, I think you're right. I think that's why they had it. It was a faster way of writing.
Maybe I'll pick. I've not. It's not that I never do it. I have some journals, but like now I just journal on my computer when I do it. But um, I keep trying to find an excuse to take physical pen to paper, but I don't know why I don't like it. Well,
Yeah,
part of it is my hand tires quickly.
yeah, I know. It's yeah, because you don't use it. It's a muscle that you're not using
I think I
in
have a
that
bad,
way.
but I think I have also I might. I mean, my hands are frail looking compared to many people's, but um, I think it's always been a thing for me. So maybe it's a little trauma based or something like, having to write stuff in school or getting in trouble and having to write on the chalkboard or
Yeah.
just
Oh gosh.
having to do assignments really fast. They were hard and I never liked it. But anyway,
Yeah. I mean, well, you don't have to go back to it. I mean, and I don't write everything on paper because I don't always have. Oh God, I don't always have paper on me, and so I'll do it in like notes on my phone. But I mean, there was a period of time when I was working an electrician out in the field where yeah, we didn't have smartphones. So I would rip a cardboard box up and I would jot down a lyric, stuff in my pocket, and then at the end of the week, I've got 15 pieces of cardboard and random papers from the site that have all these different lyrics all over the place, and I had to remember where they went to.
New coworkers are like, "What the fuck's that guy doing?"
What's
I'm
wrong
like, "Nah,
with
leave him
this
alone."
guy?
He just does
No,
that.
yeah. Just
That's
keep your hands away from his mouth.
Yeah. Keep your hands and feet away from his mouth.
Yeah.
So, do you have any aspirations to sell your art, your paintings someday?
So no, I'm in a gallery right now.
No kidding.
Yeah. Well, I was in two, and then one. I was in one here locally in Folsom, and then after 30 years, she finally retired. So I'm in one in Napa now. A really nice gallery called Flowers and Hues. So there's a couple pieces in there.
That's cool. And where do you actually do the painting? Not at the galleries.
No,
The galleries are more like display places, but
you bring them to the galleries.
that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I do paintings here at the house. We got a beautiful yard, and I can I set up right here in the backyard and just kind of we got some nice string lighting, and just it's gorgeous over here. So I can set up and paint outside even when it's raining.
That's very cool. Well, it's nice you're in galleries.
Yeah, it was. It's just one of those things that I kind of always wanted to do, but kind of didn't get to it till later on in life.
Well, but you haven't been painting that long, have you?
No, that's why I said I haven't been. Yeah, I remember.
Oh, you wanted to paint.
Yeah, I wanted to paint, and I remember going to well, my mom's French, so we would go to visit her parents in France for summers. And you go, and it's just the whole romantic idea of seeing the painter there by the Seine River, and like, oh, that'd be a cool life. This is what he does all day. And then I'd beg him to buy me a box of paint and some paper, and then I get a little watercolor set and some paper, and it's like, okay, this is not right. I don't know what I'm doing here, and it's just. And I actually want to talk about a bias. I guess going back to your writing, I do not like watercolors because of that. I couldn't figure out how to work a watercolor. And so yeah, I tried it a couple times, and then it's like, okay, well, this isn't for me. And then I got a couple years ago, I got to a point where, okay, I'm burnt out on the music. I'm done with the poetry books. I need to create something. What's next? What can I do? What have I not done yet that I want to do? And so I bought some canvases and started going at it with acrylics and mixed media.
It sounds like you've said it. You just have this sort of creative urge, and if you don't get it out of you, it starts to maybe feel bad or something.
Yeah, it causes some stress because it's just there's tons of ideas just floating around in my head, and there's not enough room up there for everything.
Do you think of it in terms of like I got to share this, or it's just like I just got to get it out?
No, I think of it in terms as, well, number one, I love to create. That's what I do, and then the other thing is, I got a certain amount of time on this planet. I've got all these ideas. I've got all these songs. I've got these pictures I want to paint. I want to do it while I have time.
It's funny you're reminding me about these things I want to do. They are somewhat creative, but they're not like creative in the visual or like music sense. And you just remind me, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I have a finite amount of time. I better get busy.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I mean, yeah, our time is limited, and I don't know.
Totally.
Maybe I don't know if I think about death more than the average person does, but I do think about it, and I do think about all the things I want to accomplish, and yeah, there's a bunch of songs, and there's songs been there. Like I said, 5 years. I'd like to get them out of my head and just onto I guess a different platform, and where they go from there, I don't know if I care.
I think about death a lot too. I have for a long time.
Man, this turned dark.
I don't know. It's very normal for me to, me and Sammy talk about it a lot. In fact, we had a musician friend here who was traveling and been playing. We were playing together here in Mexico, and the last time he was here, he was like, "Man, you guys talk about dying a lot." um, but I guess I have this sort of dual uh, outlook on it. Um, there's part of me that does think about what will I have accomplished, and there's another part of me that doesn't. Because, like, well, I'll be dead. I won't care.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've had the same thought, but so my other thought is, okay, I'm lying in my deathbed. I I can't do anything anymore at this point, and I just have time to think while I'm, you know, the last few days.
You hope.
Yeah, whatever. It's just like I want to be proud of the. I don't know. I want to be in that bed thinking, okay, I gave it a solid run. I accomplished everything I could, and I'm proud of some of the stuff I did. And the other weird thing is this. The other thought is, I remember being a kid. Uh, you know, maybe I don't know, 10, 11, thinking about all the stuff I wanted to accomplish. Especially, I wanted to be a musician. I was big into music. I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be able to play my own songs, write my own songs, play on stage. It'd be so cool. And I look back and I think, okay, would 10-year-old Christian be proud of 50-year-old Christian and what he's accomplished? He'd probably be blown away. And it's just like, am I making 10-year-old Christian proud? Have I done almost everything that he wanted to do, sitting in his room, looking at those album covers, listening to that music?
That's really nice. Yeah, that's a nice thought.
So yeah, it's just tons of stuff, and I don't want to. And also, you stop, you don't do these things, then what is it? You get busy living or get busy dying.
Yeah.
Shawshank Redemption. I would just, yeah, you need something to look forward to, and if you have this creative outlet, why not take it as far as you can take it?
Yeah, it's a nice way to look at it all. It really is. Are you performing much music right now?
Yeah, I'm performing a lot more than I was a few years ago. I'm getting back at it. Yeah, actually, I had a show scheduled last Saturday, but I got informed that the the booking agent double booked it. So,
You're fired.
yeah, so that didn't happen. But yeah, I am playing. I'm excited getting back out there. I've got some cool gigs. Where we are here in Folsom, it gets pretty hot. So the summers are pretty brutal when they got you playing outside.
Yeah, but
So that I'm not looking forward to as much. But yeah, I'm enjoying getting back out there and playing.
and do you play?
But
Are you playing solo mostly these days?
yeah, all solo. Um, yeah, all solo. There was a couple good years where I had a 3-piece band, and then or it could have been a 2-piece, 3-piece, depending on the venue. And uh, bass player had to call it quits because some personal stuff. And then my drummer, longtime drummer for 10 years, he was from Ohio, him and his wife. And it was just 2020 came, and he was like, we got family in Ohio that's getting older and older, and I think it's time to go back.
Oh, wow.
So after that, I just thought, okay, yeah, just kind of do the solo thing again and see where that takes me. But I'm enjoying it.
Cool. And so you have a nice, sounds like you have a nice music scene out there and
Yeah,
some places to play.
we really do have a good music scene. A lot of, what's popping up? All these microbrews,
Yeah.
great places to play gigs.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're usually open, they usually close a little earlier than, bars where you're going to be playing till what, 1 in the morning? You start at 11, which, the older you get, it's like starting at 11 gets a little tougher.
I haven't done that in a long time. I know a woman here who's a great singer, and I actually no, she doesn't play with her boyfriend plays guitar, and they do some stuff together. But anyway, she does like these residency gigs with these classic rock bands, and yeah,
Oh,
they
wow.
like start at like 9 or something and play 2 or 3 sets or 9:30. And
Hey,
she's not like super young. I have another friend who's a couple of friends who are very young, and they were doing it, but the venue that they were working at a lot closed, unfortunately for them, because that was good money. But I don't think I talk to him regularly because he plays in a band that I have right now, but a couple of them actually. But he said he doesn't miss the the hours of it.
yeah, the hours are tough. Those hours are tough now, for me. But I mean, there's options. We got wineries around here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of festivals. So there's plenty to choose from, and we also have just a huge talent pool of musicians.
That's nice. Have you had an agent worked with an agent for long? I heard you
No,
mentioned one.
no, that agent books for certain venues. So I have a booking agents that work for certain venues, so they don't work for me. The venue hires them.
That is cool. Well, did we miss anything?
Oh, did we start? Did we do this?
I think we did.
Oh, I thought there's like supposed to be some intro. There's no intro. There's no like, okay, are you ready to record?
That comes later, man.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think I missed. No, I don't think so. What do you think?
I think we did good. I
We
think we
got to
did
get
it.
Fred. We got to get Fred Roy up here.
To, s-
Get all his stories and
to
his
Folsom or on the
shenanigans
podcast.
on the podcast.
We can talk about the Crawdaddy's
and
box set.
and the infamous gig where apparently everybody left soaked.
That's pretty funny.
Mm.
Laura Price is still doing it she's out in Austin.
And I want to say she's been here.
Probably. I'm sure
Yeah,
she has.
so we got a really good blues scene here.
That's nice.
Sacramento Blues Society, and I'm actually and so once a year they throw a competition, and then the winner goes to Memphis to compete internationally. And my band actually won 2017, and we went to Memphis for a week.
That's nice.
And I'm actually going to try that again this year solo against 6 bands.
Wow.
So that's
Well,
gonna,
good luck. That's going to be
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. Good luck. That's gonna be a tough one, but especially with the bands around here, we got some great bands here.
I'm sure. I can imagine. Yeah. I'm I'm happy to say there's a lot of great musicians around here. Sometimes I feel like there's not enough places to play, but I think maybe that's true because I have some young musician friends that they would like to play more. So I guess there's not as many as I thought there were. But I told Sammy, my wife Sammy, that a little bit of that's laziness on my part. Of just getting out more and seeing other bands and I don't think it's that different in the States, but everything's very um, FaceTime, not like FaceTime, iPhone FaceTime, but like FaceTime oriented. Like booking can be done so much easier when you go have FaceTime with the people that you're trying to get to book you.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing with the paintings, with everything. And I've tried to tell my kids this. I trying to apply for a job. Yeah, they want you to go online and go on their website and fill out an application, but that application gets stuck in a stack with a million other applications. You go and pick up the phone, find out who the contact person is, Introduce yourself. Go there in person. Introduce yourself. Yeah, it's something that the younger generations are. I guess I don't know if they just don't think about it. They don't want to do it. It's uncomfortable. But get out. Yeah, get out in front of the person that you want to be in the front, and that you want to make contact with, and that way they put a face to it.
I'm assuming they think you have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh no, Dad is full of wisdom here. Yeah, I do get the eye rolls. Yeah, that comes with the territory. But I mean, that's the same thing I did with all the galleries. Yeah, I call them, and I've had people tell me, "Oh wow, it's yeah, you can send me an email all you want, but I get hundreds of emails a week."
Yeah.
So it just, if you really want it, you bug them, and I would call once a week. Be very polite, but be assertive too.
Yeah, I really have to get the FaceTime too, and because I have the added thing that I'm dealing with people by and large in Spanish. Not everyone.
Oh,
but by and large in Spanish, which I can do, but the phone is harder. In person's better,
That's true. Yeah, you got that. That's a whole different hurdle.
Yep.
And a lot of stuff gets lost in translation with texting, and then with the phone, and then a language barrier. Yeah, it probably is way better to get in front of the person.
Yep. But it's all just excuses. I just got to get out there.
Hey, man, you're going to be on your deathbed, and you're going to be like, God damn it, I should have FaceTimed that person.
Exactly. Well, it's good talking with you, man.
Hey, great talking to you too, man. We got it. Well, you're going to be in San Jose, but if you're ever up this way, love to see you. So you're near Mexico? I'm never in Mexico City. I'm not even near Mexico City.
We're by a very famous art town called San Miguel de Allende. Anyone who knows anything about Mexico or watches YouTube knows this place. So we're very close to it. So if you ever want to do an artist retreat and see some good musicians, it's very close by, and you could stop here too.
I'd love to. I think the only time we go to Mexico is on a cruise, and of course they drop you off in a port. Tourist trap.
That's no fun.
No, it's not. It's not, and it's not the proper way to visit a country though either.
Yeah, it was really nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you too.
As an independent podcaster, your support means the world to me. You could even say I depend on it. With that in mind, here are some things you can do to help support us. Follow us on your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Or shoot me a review by email, robonzo@unstarvingmusician.com, that I can use on the website. Or just share this episode with a friend. This makes a huge impact on our audience growth. You could also visit our crowd sponsor page at unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor to learn of the many other ways of supporting the podcast, including a quick and easy online tip jar. It's like click, tip, done, easy, and super appreciated. You'll find many ways of showing your support there, including through our affiliate partners like Bandzoogle, Kit, Email, formerly ConvertKit, DreamHost, and others. The music you're hearing is New Gods Part 2, the instrumental mix by yours truly. You can hear the full version, download it, or buy it at robonzo.com. And if all this was too much to remember or process, just go to the show notes for this episode at unstarvingmusician.com to find links to all the stuff talked about in this episode. You can leave us feedback, questions, comments, complaints at unstarvingmusician.com/feedback. Thanks for listening. Peace, gratitude, and a whole lot of love.